The 28-year-old Richmond, Indiana woman is missing just 3 weeks before her wedding.
So she's just going about her day, about to get married, and then boom, vanishes.
Exactly.
Niqui was last seen washing her clothes, but when she never returns, her family and fiance file a missing persons report.
You went to the police?
Yes, and they told us it was too soon, because at that point, I guess you had to wait 72 hours before you could report somebody as an adult missing. And for that reason is because they are allowed to make a decision just to come and go as they want.
Michelle, any chance, any possibility that your sister just got cold feet with the wedding?
She was really excited about where her life was at the time, so there's no way that I could see her getting cold feet.
And when Monday morning rolls around and Niqui misses her shift at the correctional facility where she worked, her family is convinced Niqui didn't disappear on her own.
I started crying, and I knew something was wrong because she loved her job and Niqui didn't miss no work.
And by now, cops are concerned too and ramp up their missing persons investigation. Richmond PD searches the immediate area around the laundromat where Niqui was last seen and interview those close to the missing woman.
Trying to find out if her day was typical, if everything that had happened prior to her becoming missing was normal, and just gathering facts about her to try to find out her behavior. And in that process, then you're able to possibly develop a person of interest.
And investigators look into the incident involving those two men who were allegedly harassing Niqui at the laundromat.
There were reports that there were two men harassing Niqui while she was there?
There were reports that there were two subjects that were kind of giving her a hard time, whether it be flirting and, things along that line.
But according to cops, nothing comes from that lead. Then police turned their attention to the surveillance video from the convenience store across from the laundromat. These are the last known images of Niqui a short time before she vanished. You can clearly see Niqui at the counter making a purchase and then leave the store.
Anything unusual about Niqui's movements?
No. It was a routine for her to go to the laundromat. That was absolutely normal.
While police conduct their investigation, Niqui's family organizes additional search parties made up of Niqui's friends, family, and fiance, Bobby. But during their searches, Niqui's sisters are struck by Bobby's curious appearance.
We were doing the searches, of course. You don't care about what you look like, you see people out there. We were a mess. I mean, if you see some of the photographs, you'll see this, but he was always the clean person. He was always dressed up, I guess, ready for if he was on camera.
The news media was on hand covering Niqui's disappearance, and the missing woman's sisters claim Bobby was center stage conducting the interviews.
I could care less how I look, If I'm looking for my sister, I'm looking for my sister.
But it wasn't just how Bobby looked that raised some eyebrows. It was also how he acted just days after his fiancée disappeared.
He tried to take the rings back, the wedding rings.
And when police find out, they begin to take a closer look at Niqui's fiancé.
Tell me about her fiance, Bobby. He certainly had some curious actions after Niqui goes missing.
Yes, he did. He started having behavior that was somewhat suspicious. He had canceled the wedding hall, got a refund for that. He had tried to return the ring to get a refund for that, had looked into her schooling, money for school to get a refund.
That's very eyebrow raising. I mean, Niqui's only gone a few days and this dude's already canceling the wedding? It's as though he knew she wasn't coming back.
Police agree and ask Bobby to take a lie detector test.
Passed?
No, it showed deception according to the polygraph examiner.
Showed deception?
Yes.
So not only do you have the erratic behavior, you have his polygraph coming back with deceit.
Correct.
At this point, despite Bobby's suspicious behavior and failed polygraph, police consider him only a person of interest and not a suspect in Niqui's disappearance.
There was no evidence.
No evidence that he had anything to do with her disappearance?
Correct. His behavior was erratic, but as in physical evidence, there's no evidence.
And even though his behavior appears to be incriminating, Bobby tells police there was a good reason why he tried to get a refund on his wedding just days after his bride-to-be vanished.
One of the excuses that he used was that he was trying to gather money for a reward.
That's right, reward money. And Bobby claims he needed the fast cash to purchase a cell phone to be in constant contact with people involved in the search. But he denies he ever tried to collect on Niqui's unspent tuition money or cancel their wedding.
Sell back the ring. It was only a deposit on the ring. It was a layaway. How I sell back a layaway? You know, canceling a wedding, we're still pretty much paying on the rec hall and everything. All I did was make some calls going, you know, something's going on. You know, we're going to be delayed. This wedding's in 3 weeks. Even if Niqui came back that moment, you know, she's been missing for days. I doubt the wedding's going to be planned, you know, right on schedule. Something's going to be delayed. I never canceled nothing.
And without any proof that Bobby is responsible for Niqui's disappearance, police move along their investigation. But Bobby says he understands why police had to take a hard look at him.
I'm sure they had to do what they had to do. They had to investigate.
Then 3.5 months after Niqui vanishes, something appears. Cops find Niqui's car. But where they found it takes everyone by complete surprise.
Well, I was completely floored.
Coming up,
We finally got a piece of this big puzzle.
Niqui's abandoned vehicle sends the investigation in a whole new direction.
Is this the person she had a child with?
And at that point, you're thinking, this is the big break in the case. We're going to find her.